Ooh, bringing in the snow. Oh, you guys, this is why we don't live in Michigan. No, no, no. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Are we winning our morning? Put in the chat if you're winning your morning. Yeah, for real. Leah, if it drops below 70 down here in Florida, I'm cold. Terrible. All right, you guys, I'm gonna quickly go over some overcoming objections with y'all today. Make sure I have everybody in. Very good. All right, awesome. Because just because it's the holiday season, that means we need to be setting even more appointments than normal, right? So I figured it'd be a good idea to refresh ourselves on overcoming objections. Share this real quick. There we go. All right, awesome. All right, so this is overcoming objections while on the phone. All right, so tips to avoid getting them, right? So we all know that the best kind of objection is no objection, right? So we want to start there. Obviously, we're not going to get away from, getting never getting objections, but we definitely can lower the amount that we do get. So here are a few ways to do that. One is stick to the script, right? The scripts are meant for a reason. They were created for a specific reason because they work. Two is less is more, right? We don't want to word vomit all over everybody. And three is practice, drill, rehearse, right? PDR, practice, drill, rehearse. So here's three basic steps when we are overcoming any objection, right? Affirm, answer, close. Affirm, answer, close. So we're going to use that with some specific objections here. So if someone asks, what company is it, right? Oh, what company is it? Cool. Affirm, answer, close. So one is affirm. So I'm really glad you asked that, Leah. Number two is answer. It's a company called Primerica Financial Services. I'm sure you've heard of us. Close. So as far as us getting together, what's better for you guys, weekends or weekdays? Right? Getting right back to the script, answering the question, getting right back to it, right? Let me talk to my spouse. This is a good one, right? You'll get this one a lot, right? Well, let me talk to my spouse and figure out, what time, da, 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 right? Now, they might have all intents and purposes of talking to their spouse. However, we're human beings, and most of the time, they're going to forget to talk to their spouse, right? And then you're going to reach out to them again, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't talk to Bob or whatever, right? And so they're going to feel bad. They're not going to answer you. And it's just going to be this whole thing of like going back and forth. So getting the appointment scheduled right then and there is going to save you a lot of time and headache. And it's also going to save them a lot of time and headache as well, right? So let me talk to my spouse. The word you want to remember is generally, right? Everybody put generally in the chat. You want to use generally. So firm, answer, close, right? Oh my gosh, Karen, I'm really glad that you brought that up because I definitely want them to be there as well, right? But just generally speaking, if you had to pick a time that's generally better for both of you, would it be weekends or weekdays, right? So listen, I'm going to put you down for 1 p.m. on Saturday, right? The answer, right? You just write into the script, right? And then basically talk to the spouse. And if that doesn't work, call me back like tonight or tomorrow at the latest, with a couple of times that would work. Otherwise, we'll plan for 1 p.m. on Saturday. Is that fair? Right? Is that fair as the tie down, right? Everybody wants to be fair, or known as being fair, right? So that's always a pretty easy one if someone needs to, they're coming up with any excuses like that. The next one is what is it you do? So Mel, what is it that you do, right? So affirm, answer, close. Well, Mel, thank you so much for asking that question. Basically, so affirm, right? Basically, we're helping people save money on debt, money on taxes, money on insurance, and then teach them how to take some of that savings and put it, save it for things like retirement, kids' education, etc. It's really incredible what we do for families. So as far as us getting together, what's better for you guys weekends and weekdays, right? Again, just affirming, answering, and getting right back to the close. All right. So I'm too busy, right? You might get this one a lot, especially right now, right, with the holidays. So, Sarah, thank you for bringing that up. I know how busy you are, especially nowadays, it's the holidays and everything, right? Normally what people are saying to me when they say that, though, is they think I'm going to hop on Zoom and maybe try to sell them something, and try to sell them who knows what. Is that kind of how you feel, right? That's just kind of like putting everything out in the open, right? Like getting the elephant, wide out in the open and just being like, hey, do you think I'm just going to try to get on here and sell you something? Maybe like, oh yeah, maybe a little bit, right? Well, listen, Sarah, I promise you this is not a hard sales pitch at all. It's extremely educational and informative. Like I said, if you end up wanting more information on the services, great. But that isn't why I'm asking for help. I really do need to get trained on this, and I know once you see everything, you'll think it was well worth sparing 15 to 20 minutes. So as far as us getting together, what's better for you, weekends or weekdays, right? Just bring it down to 15, 20 minutes. I mean, we can get through the presentation in 15, 20 minutes, right? And usually at that point, they want to know more, right? It's kind of like, okay, our part's done. And then you invite them to, hey, do you guys, want more questions or have any questions? So you want to know more information. And usually they do, because no one's ever taught them the Rule 72. No one's ever taught them any of this stuff, right? So of course they want to learn more. Of course they want to better their situation. I'm not interested. Just straight up, I'm not interested, right? So, Dan, thank you so much for bringing that up. Like I said, you may not have any interest, but for sure someone would benefit unbelievably from this. So listen, again, you may not be interested, and that's perfectly fine, but give me 15 minutes, and in 15 minutes, if it isn't interesting to you, we can stop and don't have to talk about it anymore. But I really want you to see this, if not for you, then people in your life that you love and care about, that you are struggling for the people that in your life who you love and care about that are really struggling financially right now. Is that fair? Can you spare 15 minutes for me? Right? Because again, that's okay if they're not interested. It really is. They don't become a client. That is perfectly okay. You've planted a seed, right? They know now what you do. They know all the different products and services that we have to offer. They now have increased knowledge of finances, right? And they're going to be able to lead you to other people. All right. Well, that's all the overcoming objections that I have. So let's do a little bit of practice drill rehearse, shall we? And I can actually leave this up. Hold on. That way, even if you need to read it, because to be honest, sometimes we just got to read through it a bunch of times before it starts to actually stick, right? So if you don't have to read it, don't. But if you need to, go ahead. So who wants to volunteer? Or I might have to volunteer someone to role play with me on the let me talk to my spouse one. Who wants to go? Anybody? Any takers? Karen, let's go. All right, cool. All right, Karen. So, you're trying to set an appointment. Actually, just try to set an appointment with me, and then I'll tell you I got to talk to my spouse. Okay.
Just start at the set an appointment part or the whole thing?
Yeah, let's do the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Cass, how are you doing?
Oh, hey, Karen, what's up? How are you? I'm good.
Good. Good. How's the weather down there in Florida?
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. 70s, 80s.
I'm jealous. I need to come back. It's too cold up here.
Yeah, you do.
How's your household doing?
Oh, we're doing good. Dogs are crazy, like usual.
Oh, fun, fun dogs. But well, hey, the reason I'm calling is I wanted to show you what I'm doing because I've been doing something for several years and I'm so excited about it, and I'm working on my my one set of my licenses, and I still need some more training on that. So I would love to talk with you and your significant other about all that we do and show you, show you what it's all about, just so that if you know someone that could use what we do in the future, you'd be comfortable to refer people to us. So that being said, like when's better for you guys? Is the weekdays or weekends better?
Okay, very cool. That sounds awesome, Karen. Let me talk to my spouse actually, and I'll figure out what day we're kind of, busy right now. So let me talk to him, check the schedule, and then I'll let you know. I'll text you, okay?
Oh, I understand how busy you are. It's a busy time of year, isn't it? So, but just generally, like when's a good time that you guys are both at home for like 20, 30 minutes that you're both sitting around watching TV or something?
Well, generally, usually, I would say on the weekends, probably.
Okay, well, is Saturday or Sunday better for you usually?
Usually Sunday.
Okay, so just generally, like what time on Sundays better, like early afternoon or in the evening?
Uh, Probably would be like an evening on Sunday.
Okay, well, great. So like how about 5 or 6 on Sunday that you and he could come get on Zoom for 20, 30 minutes? Which time's better, 5 or 6?
Um, we'll say 6.
Okay, perfect. So we will see you on Sunday at 6 o'clock. I will put your information in. I still have your email. I think it's the same cast cast at Yahoo, right? No. So um we will meet on Sunday at 6. And if something changes, just let me know. Otherwise, me, and my regional vice president and your spouse will see. We'll all be on Zoom at that time. See you then, okay?
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Karen. Have a great day. Awesome.
Thanks, Cass.
That was good. Great job, Karen. So can someone tell Karen maybe one thing that she did really well and then one thing that she could have improved on, or just one of those? Anybody got anything?
You had some good small talk in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Definitely good small talk. Great. That's one good thing. Anybody have one thing that she could have improved on? No pauses? Yeah, true. No one wants to critique.
Think she did good affirming the close with your email address.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I would say one thing, especially with it being like the spouse part, just really emphasizing that like generally, word. But then the second thing would maybe be making sure, talk to your spouse if that doesn't work. Call me back with a couple of times that might work today or tomorrow. If you don't call me back, we'll just plan on Sunday, right? Just to kind of give them that like, hey, you do this. And then if I don't hear from you about that, we're just going to plan on Sunday. It kind of puts it back, the ball back in their court, which they probably won't even do. And then you'll just plan on Sunday, and then you can call. You know what I mean? Call them and confirm. So great job, Karen. All right, let's see. We'll do a couple more. Um, I'm just gonna call on someone. Oh, my mouse just. I think my battery's died in my mouse. All right. Let's see who's gonna be lucky victim number 2. Just gonna go on participants list here. All right, what about Taylor? Taylor, can you run one with me? Taylor's on, right? Maybe. Loud in my house. Okay, no worries, you're fine. Let's see. Sierra, I know you kind of raised your hand earlier. You want to run one with me real quick? We'll do
Yeah,
this
let's do it.
last one. Okay. Let
Which
me get
one?
another one. Hold on one second. Here we go. We'll do I'm not interested, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hey Cass, how are you?
Hey, Sierra, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. How's the family?
Oh, we're doing good. Everything's doing great. How are you? How are your family? How's your family? How are the kids?
Good, they're growing fast. Listen,
Awesome.
the reason that I'm calling is I actually I'm working on another license. I think I told you about the business I started not too long ago, and I'm needing some training. Really, I just need 10 to 15 minutes of your time so I can give you the information about what I do. Um, as far as us getting together, would, let's see, Tuesday or Wednesday work for you next week?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really interested in any of that. I know you need training and everything. We're just kind of busy, but we're all set. I think financially and everything, like we've got a person, we've already kind of done all that stuff for the year, so we're all set. But I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you're already working with somebody and you guys have already got that set up for yourselves. Really, what I need is just basically like a networking meeting where I can tell you what I do. So that way, if you run into somebody or you work with somebody that's been talking about some of the things that I can help with, that you could refer me because I do my work through word of mouth. So, do you guys think that you would be good to meet for 10 or 15 minutes on Monday or Tuesday?
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Yeah, let's do Monday.
Okay, awesome. Would morning or afternoon be better for you?
Probably afternoon.
Okay, let's do like a 3 o'clock. Would that work?
Uh, Perfect. Actually, yeah, that should
Okay,
work.
awesome. So let's do 3 on Monday. Are you sure that's a good time for you, Cass?
Yeah, should be.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna put you down. Are you familiar with using Zoom?
I am. Yep.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna send over the Zoom link. And it'll have the date in there so you can plug that into your calendar as well. And I will see you Monday at 3 o'clock. Okay.
All right. Sounds good, Sierra. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Great job, Sierra. All right, y'all. What's one thing, real quick? She did great. What's the one thing she could improve on?
She did double check with you again. Like are you sure that's okay?
Yep. Locking me down. That was really good. Great job, Sierra. Anybody got one thing that she could have improved on?
Just the name again. Just use your name more.
That's good. Love that. I think in the very beginning of the script, I'm not sure, maybe I just like misheard, but I think maybe you were missing the part where it was like, if you can use anything, great. If not, no worries. Kind of already putting that out there of like, hey, you may need this, you may not type of a deal. But you might have said that. I might have just like, you know, didn't hesitate when you came back with yeah, exactly. You just went right in there, Sierra. Great job. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. And we're a little bit over. I'm going to pass it over to Daniel now to get us going for full timers, part timers. I don't know if Dan's going to want you to stay on or not, but go put in the chat what you're closing today. And yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Hello. Good morning. How are you all?
Fantastic.
Sweet. I like awkwardly starting. It's very fun.
Cold.
But
Cold.
what's up, Jerome? Thank you for saying what's up. I appreciate you. Hey, hope you guys are off to a good start today. Just getting what you need to get done. We are on today's the third day of December, even though it's December 5th. I know that's sometimes our brains don't like to agree with that, but it is the third day of the month of December. Everybody put in the chat, what is your goal, personal, for the month of December? What are your personal production goals for the month of September? And I want to know, where are you at in the process of hitting those numbers and your personal production numbers? So far, we are 3 days into the month. If you're doing 3x5, that's 8 closed pieces of business. So that means every 3.5 days or so, you need to close some business, which means if you want to be pacing for 3x5, you got to put something on the board today. Okay, you got to put something on the board today. And so what I want to know is how are you going to make that happen, right? Are you going to get out there and are you going to close up some business? Yes, December, Jerome. But yeah, you got to get out there today, guys, and you got to make something happen. And so what I want to kind of talk about real quick, and I won't keep you guys on super long today, but what I want to talk to you guys about today is just using your time efficiently when you're setting appointments. I don't know about you guys, but I know, well, first off, I know that you guys like to operate almost exclusively off of social media, most of us, right? And I can tell you that I know that that's true because we see your Facebooks and we also see your numbers, right? And so, like, if you're doing things outside of social media, I assure you that you're going to have success in greater quantities than if you're only focusing on social media, right? If you're only focusing on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever, if you're only focusing on that one, you're going to run out of people because Facebook will shut you down if you send too many messages, if you're too active on Facebook with profiles that it seems like might even be wrong, but that it seems like that you don't have prior relationships with. Facebook does not like that too much, right? So you have to be able to get business outside of Facebook, right? You need to be filling your pipeline, Leah, exactly like what you just said. You have to have your five to stay alive. We talk about this all the time, but why in the world do you think we keep talking about it? Right? Because we're not doing it. Right? So we're just going to continue hammering on the same thing over and over and over again. So you guys use social media a lot. What are your other things for your five to stay alive that you're using right now? Put in the Zoom chat, or you can unmute yourself if you want. But what are some other things that you're using weekly to fill your pipeline with contacts, with names and numbers? I'll wait. Sarah's trying to recruit all the 8-year-olds. I see it. She's out there prospecting them. Prospecting out and about. Okay. So Cass, prospecting out and about, how many, like what is your goal, Cass, with prospecting out and about every day, in terms of names and numbers that you're getting, prospects?
So to be honest with you, I've just been doing it as I'm out and about. Maybe not every day. I haven't really set myself a goal in that department, but I should. 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily think of it as like a daily goal. I mean, a weekly goal, in my opinion. So like the way five to stay alive is a place that you go that you have a renewable source of names and numbers weekly, right? So if you think of prospecting as, hey, I need to get 5 names and numbers every week out and about. I mean, you could definitely get more than that, but like if you start with like, hey, I'm gonna get 3 or I'm gonna get 5 every week out and about, that at the end of the month, if every one of you guys got 3 new names and numbers out and about, there's 13 of us on, and double for Cass, and we'll say double for Jerome and Mel. So let's say there's 11 of us on, 11 individual codes that are closing business on the call. So if we had 3 names and numbers every week, and let's say there's 4 weeks in the month, right? That's 12 names and numbers. And then when you do 11 times 12, it's 132. That's 132 new names and numbers. Do you think that there is a chance that if we got 132 new names and numbers on just on this call alone, only with the people that are on right now, that we'd probably have a couple new part-timers and a couple new full-timers that pop up? Right. Okay. So if all that we did was 3 names and numbers out and about every week, we'd be popping up some new part-timers. We'd be popping up some new full-timers, right? People that we're working with, that are going to be able to do this business. Karen says church, small group, and Awana families. Okay. So, Mom, with those groups, every week that you go, how many names and numbers are you getting at church? Between church and small group and Awanas, how many names and numbers / referrals are you getting from those 3 things on a weekly basis?
Maybe on average 1 or 2, but I don't always ask. I'm building relationships too, so that it's more relational. So
I would just get their numbers. I would just start with getting their contact information. There's nothing that's not weird. Like if I'm talking to someone at church and we're having a conversation and our kids are playing or whatever, I'll be like, hey, I wouldn't do this with I would not do this with a mother of a child, especially not at church, but just in general, unless Taylor is with me, but then Taylor would probably get the number, unless I was specifically prospecting them. But let's just pretend that like Jerome and I are at church, right? And Jerome's hanging out, and we're just chatting back and forth, and our kids are running around, trying to burn down the church. Gunnar and Axel are hanging out together. That would be a sight for someone to see. Oh my goodness. But I'll just tell Jerome, like, hey dude, let me grab your number real quick, and I'd love to connect with you sometime outside here, maybe just get to know each other a little bit better, get the families together. Here's my number. Let me text you so you have it. What's your number? And I'll let him tell me his number. I'm just going to text him. And that's it. And I have kids, and Jerome has kids, so that's an easy way to get like, hey, let's put those 2 kids together. Yes, mother.
Well, my kids are a little bit older,
Yeah, I
so
know. I was just gonna say, for you, you just basically, I mean, same thing though. Like, hey, I noticed you guys are new to the church, or hey, you guys go here. I'd love to get to know you guys a little bit better. I just love building relationships with people at the church. Let me get your number. Here's mine. I'll text you so you have mine. What's your number? And then get it. And then, if you're meeting with a mom or whatever, just go get coffee. And like, if nothing else, like you can just be a spiritual mentor to that person, right? Like, especially knowing my mom, like my mom could certainly do that. Like, and just meet with somebody and like encourage them, if nothing else. But if you meet with them and you get to know like what gets them pumped up, what makes them excited, what do they love about what they're doing, what do they love about their family situation, whatever, you start to build relationships. You're saying I'm building relationships with them. Well, if you're building relationships, those relationships eventually will yield to business. Maybe not through that relationship specifically, but through referrals from that person, right? So like meet with the people that you're meeting, if that makes any sense. Like don't just meet them, like meet with them, talk to them about what they do, get to know them, and give them a quick like spurt of what you're doing, right? So if you do that, if you get 2 names and numbers at church every week and you meet with one of them each week, that's 4 new people every month that know what you're doing on top of your 3 prospects, right? So now you've got 5 new names and numbers every week. And if you meet with one prospect and one of those people from church, now you have 2 new appointments every week. Jerome, you said networking groups. Jerome, how many names and numbers roughly do you think that you get each week on average through your networking group, whether it be business partner referrals or whatever? And let's
Maybe,
lump in
maybe
all
like
the
one or
people.
two.
What's that?
Maybe like one or two.
Is that including, so like you, Gina, and the other lady that are all getting referrals? 'Cause I know you have, like, let's say you were the only one in that networking group for your downline. Would it be more than that, you think?
Yeah, maybe like 3 to 5.
Okay, so let's just say 3. Let's say he's getting 3 names and numbers, right? So from his 3 prospects a week and his 2 people from church, now he's got 3 more names and numbers of people that want his services. So let's say he sets up 2 of those as kitchen tables. Now he's got a STEAM appointment, a recruit appointment, and 2 KTs. You see what I'm saying here? This is why it's important for you to have 5 to stay alive and not 1. Okay, Leah, networking, reaching out to clients, friends and family to STEAM. Let's go friends and family to STEAM. Leah, how many friends and family that you are steaming with, how many of those appointments would you say you're getting on each week, and how many referrals does that lead you to each week on average?
Lately, the ones I'm getting, they're kind of like either not in market, but I still try to reach out and try to schedule. They either, like the ones, my mom gave me a long list of people. Most of them didn't even answer. Nobody's called me back. I had
How
one
many times have you
scheduled
called them?
just once.
So what I do whenever I get a referral, so Leah, let's say that Karen gave me your number. I'm going to call you. If you don't answer, I'm immediately going to call you again. So it's called double dial. It's like old phone sales tactics, but I'm going to call you and then I'm going to call you. Even if you ignore my call, I'm calling you again. And then 90% of the time they answer on the second call. Right. And the reason for that is because all of you think about this for a second. If you get a call that you don't know the number and you ignore it and they call you again right away, that seems a bit urgent, right? So you answer, you're interested. Now you might send it to voicemail, that's fine. So Leah, let's say you sent me a voicemail. I'd just say, hey, Leah, this is Dan. You don't know me. But I got your number from Karen Stump. I know Karen said she knows you really well from the church. Hey, listen, I just have a couple quick questions for you. It's fairly urgent. If you could call me back, that'd be great. And then I get my number. And then I text them basically the same thing. Hey, Leah, this is Dan. I got your number from Karen Stump. She said she knows you really well from the church. If you could give me a call really quick, I have a few questions. That'd be awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. And I just leave it at that. And then I'll try to call again the next day. And I'm going to call her about every week or call you about once a week, or sorry, once a day for about a week until you answer. Right? Like it's work. Like we're talking like this is work, right? This is not a get paid from home. This is work from home, right? And then you get paid from home. But that's a byproduct, right? Okay, so Leah, let's say you're getting what 2 names and numbers from that. Would you say each week is about average, or would you say more?
She gave me a good handful, so it was more than just, per week. So
Yeah, so like weekly on average, roughly.
maybe 2.
Okay, so 2. Great. So now we're at 10 and we're on 4, the 4 to stay alive, right? So we had 10 names and numbers so far. And let's say both of those contacts were terrible. Now, you'll obviously get some setup from there eventually, but let's say you got 5 and you set 1. We're at 13 and we're at 5 set appointments. I think that's a more reasonable number. So now you have 5 appointments that happen outside of social media every week with 13 new contacts that you can add into your pipeline, right? Because remember, not everything in your pipeline is going to come to fruition week 1, right? So if I call all 13 of those names and numbers, I set 5. Right? I have 8 that I can call next week. So now I got 8 more numbers I can call next week on top of my new 13. Does that make sense? So now I have 21 unset appointments, unset contacts that I can reach out to, not counting my 2 or 3 appointments I'm setting every day from social media. Right? So I think sometimes we just have to like really just look at the numbers of the business to say, man, I'm really just not doing what I need to do. Right? Like I'm really just not, like that's just the reality. Unfortunately, like, Taylor and I asked Taylor, I was like, what should I talk about today on the call? Because I feel like I talk about the same thing every single time we get on here because all of our numbers are in the same spot every week. And she's like, talk about how it's like school. And it really is. Like, think about it like this. If y'all paid $5,000 for a semester of school and you never went to class, you never turned in the homework, you never studied one time ever, would you pass? And would you get the degree that you're going to school for? No. Well, if you don't study and you don't set your appointments and you don't get what you need to get done here, are you ever going to get the results that you want, the contract that you want? No. Right. And I hate, like, I really hate beating a dead horse over and over and over again with you guys every time I talk to you on Thursdays about do more, do more, do more. But it's not even that we're doing an inefficient amount of work. It's that we're just we're not doing the work. Right. Like that's really like that is just frankly the reality right now. Right. It's not like, oh, Dan, you're being mean and you're telling me I'm not good enough. No, I'm not telling you you're not good enough. I'm telling you your effort isn't good enough right now for what you say you want. That's it. It's not you. Right. Like leaders and winners know how to separate your how you're behaving versus you as a person. Right. I'm not saying that you're less than, you're invaluable, none of that crap. Like miss me with that nonsense. You'll never catch me saying that about any of you. But what I will say is you're performing below where you should be. What I will tell you is, hey, there's greatness inside of you that you are literally sitting on right now and not acting on. Right? There's leaders on this call that should be making 6 figures a year and transforming their family's finances forever and investing and putting it away and setting your kids up, your future kids for success. But you're not, right? And that is like a personal like a person, not vendetta, that's not the right word. That's like a personal thing that you need to figure out as to why you're not doing that. Right. And like I think, Jerome, I think it's so good when you were talking the other day about your why. And how you've like found your actual why. And it's like, I thought it was funny. It's like, it's not Mel and the kids, like it's, wanting to just win. Right. And that's okay. But that doesn't matter. But guess what? The byproduct is Mel and the kids are taken care of. Right. They got the house. They're going to be able to buy a house. They're going to be able to buy the cars. They're going to be able to do the things that they need to do, take care of the kids. Like all the things that need to happen are going to happen. Listen, you need to find your why and just be okay with whatever it is. Like you got to dig down deep inside of yourself and figure out, why am I not doing what I need to do? Right? Like why, like some of you, why are you willing to work harder for other people than you are for yourself? Like, well, I gotta go DoorDash, I gotta go Amazon delivery, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that, I gotta get this job or that job. And you're gonna go build somebody else's business, right? You're gonna go do something, you're gonna go literally trade your time for money rather than invest your time in the people and teach them how to build a business. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, so like don't get all butthurt with me here. Like that's not the purpose of this. But like you have to like look hard under the hood and say, why am I willing to work hard for that guy, but not for this guy? Or that girl, but not this girl? Right? Like why are you not willing to put the effort in that your boss is telling you? Because listen, like I promise you guys, like if tomorrow Glenn Williams came out Leah, and he's like, I'm gonna pay you $1,000 a month if you set 3 appointments a day. Every one of you MFers on this call would set three appointments in 5 seconds. You'd be like, $1,000 if I set 3 appointments, I'm in. I got it. And it happened so fast. Right. But for whatever reason, when Glenn Williams says, hey, I will pay you an infinite amount of money if you set 3 appointments every day, you're like, no, can't be real. I'm not gonna do that. Right? It's so crazy to me. Have any of you been on POL this morning? Anyone been on POL? Yes? Willie and Norena Narano, $8 million earners, the first ones ever in the company. Miguel Illich, Willie and Norena's downline, $4 million. And a new $1 million earner last night. That new $1 million earner won't even so much as get like looked at, right? Like they're gonna be like, yeah, whatever. This guy made $1 million. Who cares? This guy made 4 and this guy made 8, right? That's the company that we're with right now. But some of you guys can't figure out how to make $100 in a month. Like that, it's wild to me. Like we just like, I say this every week, but you just have to get after it. You have to get like uncivilized, like Jerome says, and you got to go fight for your family or fight for yourself. Like when I figured out that my why in Primerica was not to be financially independent, like it wasn't to have like the FU money, so to speak, that Andy tried to convince me that that was my why of being able to do whatever I wanted to do. Like I could give a rip less about that. Don't get me wrong. Like I wouldn't be mad being able to just like get whatever I want to get all the time. But like that's not my why. Like my why is I want to be able to have an impact on people at a very, very high level, a very high capacity. Right. And how I can do that is by leading leaders who go out and make an impact. And Primerica is going to pay me for that, obviously. And they're going to pay me way more for that than they will for me just being really good at insurance. But at the end of the day, like my why is to have a big impact. Like I want every one of you guys 10 years from now to, like, if someone asks you like, man, who had the biggest impact in your life? Like selfishly, I want you to be like, Dan, like 100% Dan, like without a doubt. Like pushed me, loved me, cared for me, didn't take my shit, like made me work hard. And because of that, like my family's free. And now you're having impact. Like that's what I want out of this. Like I'm not gonna say I could care less about the money because don't get me wrong, I want to pay my bills. But like outside of that, like I don't care how much above and beyond that is. Right? Like we're not chasing money anymore. Like we're chasing the impact that we're having here. And so like whether it's 10 people on a call like this or it's 1,000 people on a call like I've gotten the privilege to speak on before, like I want to impact you and I want you to say, man, like that was powerful and like there's something special there, right? And like I believe that I've been given a gift to speak and to reach people and to talk to people in a way that moves them. Right. And I want to be able to use that gift in business, in the church, in like in ministry, in all those places. Like I want to be able to be in a position that I have the opportunity to do that. Well, how do you get opportunities like that? You prove it with results, right? Like you prove it with results. And I'll give you a practical example of like the college ministry thing, because I think like there's so many parallels to ministry in this business, honestly, like it's crazy. And so like I was talking with, let me give you a couple names that I'm just going to, so I don't have to explain myself 1,000 times. Tyler is the lead pastor at the church that we go to. Tom is the student ministry director at the church that we go to. So I was meeting with Tyler and Tyler basically asked me, he said, what do you, so we've been going to this church now since we moved here. So 4 months, like basically to the day. I've been on staff part-time for, like, I put quotes because I'm not paid. It's like a volunteer staff position right now until we get funded by the state. But like, I've been doing that for 2 months ish, like about 2 months. And in 2 months, Tyler, the pastor, pulled me into his office and he was like, hey, just had some questions for me, Leah. And he said, what's the real, like, why? The real, like, what are you really trying to get out of like this? And he wasn't, he prefaced it with saying, like, this is not like entrapment. Like, I'm not trying to get you to like admit something, not like there's nothing wrong. Like, but why are you wanting to reach college students and how? And like he said, basically said, Leah, do you think that, like, does it have to be you that reaches the college kids, or could you equip people to reach college students? Like, what if you could be in a position that you train people to reach college students at a much greater level than you ever would have the capacity to do so yourself? He said, is that something that you would feel would like pull your mission? I was like, 100%, like that, absolutely. And he basically told me like, I mean, I'll just be straight up with you guys. Like, he pretty much told me like, hey, I can't make any promises, but like there's a couple positions at the church that we're going to need to hire for that like I think would be a really good fit for what you're trying to do. And it wouldn't really require much more than what you're doing right now, but you'd be paid for your time. And I want to bring that up to you because I want you to understand like when you do your best everywhere that you're at, you get rewarded for things. And that might not come to fruition. Like I mean, that might not happen, right? Like it really might not. Like, and that's okay if it doesn't. But like just to even have that conversation of like, hey, we're seeing you working hard, and we want to reward that with a potential position where you can get paid to do the thing that you're doing for free. Like that's really cool. And I'm not like, again, like I'm not trying to make it about anything that it's not. I just want you to understand that like the skills that we're trying to teach you here will impact you in so many other places, right? Like that's just the reality. Like you will have an impact outside of Primerica in greater ways than you ever think possible because of what you learn inside Primerica. And you have to be willing to work at those things. So for whatever that's worth, guys, I hope that was helpful in some capacity to you all. Sorry, I'm dying over here. I want to encourage you guys that we gotta get our docs back up. We are currently sitting at, hang on one second while I pull it up. Currently at 141. So hey, we're in a pretty good spot right now with the docs, but it is largely because of three numbers, 47, 46, and 17. Guys, collectively, let's get up to everyone over 10 tomorrow. Okay, I want to see everybody over 10 tomorrow. So what are you setting today, and what are you closing? That's all I want to know. What are you setting and what are you closing? I have 5 or 6 recruits. I don't know, basically every 30 minutes from like 11 to 2 o'clock today. And then we're launching the college ministry tonight, guys. So it's like a soft launch interest meeting, but we got a bunch of college kids coming up to the church. So I'll be real busy this afternoon. But those of you that are praying people, if y'all don't mind praying for that, that'd be awesome. Calvin and Sierra, 46.
We have 14 falling off today. And we're gonna try to maintain.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Sierra, I want you and Calvin, I'm sure you already are talking with Jerome, but I want you guys to like sit down and like look at your process because there you should not be having 10, 13, 14 appointments and nothing closing at all. So get with get with Jerome, let him look at like what's going on and like see messages and stuff like that so he can help you guys. I know it's probably a lot of cold market stuff, so like your show rate is going to be lower, your close rate will be lower, but it should not be zero. So figure out what that process looks like with him, okay? Dana texted me and said she had some stuff going on with her kids this morning. She's got 4 falling off today. Leah, 10.
Today I'm 0 by 0, just have a coaching call with one of the agents, hopefully help them set some appointments. But outside of team, the goal today is set 5 instead of the mediocre 1 to 2. So
Perfect. Get yourself up to 15 and hold that forever. Never let it go below 15 ever again. I promise you magical things will happen there. Jerome, 9.
I had 1 by 0 today in a rollover, and we'll get to 15.
All righty. Sounds good. Cass, 6.
I got 1 carry back today, so I'm gonna push to 10 tomorrow.
All right, perfect. And Karen, 6.
That's what I was gonna say, Cass. 1 carry back and I'm getting to 10.
All right, guys. Have an awesome day. Let's get after it. Let's get those docs over 150 tomorrow. All right. Everybody go set 1. Everybody grow by 1 and we're over 50. That's it.